Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm Yin and Yang.
I'm Chibi Noob.
I'm Envy Jitters.
I'm Sharon Cosplay.
And I'm Cozy.
And we're back with our second week of the Elite Eight. Getting down to the last bits of, we're not. We're still going to be a couple weeks. I'm really anticipating the end of this for some reason because it's been so much. But hey, let's get closer to that this week. So we have the champions from the Theater Kid Energy bracket and the Sup Brah bracket. Princess Tutu and Shugo Chara. So, anything to say before we get in, or are we just getting in?
Let's just get in.
Let's get in?
Yeah, let's
All
just
right,
do it.
Let's get it. All right, what's up, Brah? Let's get in here. We're starting with Princess Tutu and the Theater Kid Energy, because the Theater Kid is theater kidding so hard right now. What's happening with Princess Tutu? We watched episodes 4 through 6. And we're seeing more of the fairy tales and ballets and other things that we're adding to our plots. What did we get this week? Corpse Bride? I know that's not it.
Giselle.
But I was like, is this? Hold on. I think it's called Giselle.
Giselle.
Yeah. Giselle. And then there was like a lantern thing. I feel like
Festival.
I should know. Oh yeah, the Fire Festival.
It was Fire Festival.
Fire Festival. Oh my god.
It went just as well as it did in real life.
Yeah, has everyone got their tickets for Fire Festival too?
Yeah.
Ja Rule's gonna show up to this one. Yeah, so we had the Fire Festival and then the... Oh my god, I'm blanking. Oh, the theater company shows up for Sleeping Beauty. Yes.
Yep.
So, yeah, what all was going on with that? It's mostly, again, finding shards for Muti, and, the ever-growing intrigue of what is Fakir doing and why, and where's Rue? Where does she fit in all of this? And Duck's being Duck, and they're, ducking it up. Did I miss anything? Please tell me.
Nice way of putting it.
Okay, so that's the plot, or as best as I can get to it. Chibi, what did you think about it?
I thought these episodes were fine. They each were their own contained story, and they kind of all still link together because they're returning Muto's emotions to him. Sorrow for episode 4. Affection, finally a positive emotion. That's what I have written here. And then by the end of episode 6, they've also returned his fear, which big whoopsie. So that was a thing. I mean, this is kind of going in a proper plot structure. This is the midpoint of the series, so with returning his fear, it's kind of I would say this is the turning point of where it's oh, this was her mission. What is this really accomplishing at this point? So, but I enjoyed them. They're kind of a little bit samey, but they have different elements, so I would say I'm a light A.
Kind of like what Chib said, I didn't mind the plots. They were a little samey, but each one had a different twist on getting an emotion. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be Dance Battle Bra the entire time. So, if you can fix up the formula a little bit on how the dance battle comes to be, then I guess that's fine. I do have some issues with the stories, but it's mainly character related, so I'll get into that with characters. But as far as the plots, I thought they were all right.
I did not take any notes for this show. I don't really have any complaints or anything. Plot-wise, yeah, it is a little... They definitely have a template going, but I just like seeing daily life at the Ballet Academy. It's super jealous.
Yeah, it's very Monster of the Week, but I guess in this case it is Ballet of the Week. Each ballet obviously has a theme that applies to Duck and what she's doing. And I do we're starting to see some of the consequences carry over between episodes. Because so far, the emotions we've seen her give back have been pretty negative. And we're seeing that actually start to impact Muto. Where he's is this loneliness? Oh, this is sadness. This kinda sucks. So, we're seeing the actual impact of her returning these shards, even though we're contained in a set story per episode. So I'm a light yay.
Yeah, I agree. I do enjoy that, especially at the last one that we watched, episode 6, where he kind of is afraid of Princess Tutu as a whole, and that kind of is giving Duck a little bit of a moment of pause of oh my god, is this thing actually hurting him a little bit? I've watched a lot of Monster of the Week, situation of the week kind of shows. I do enjoy that, and I do like the different kind of things. It is kind of fun to kind of be like, oh, can I guess what kind of thing we're going to have for our dance battle of the week? That's an interesting thing to go with, and I like the different ways that they're making those happen. I'm intrigued very much with Rue and Fakir right now, because it seems to be more going on there than I thought. Also, I didn't know what to think because there was very little to begin with, other than he's just an abusive boyfriend. But yeah, it's keeping me very intrigued. I'm not sure where it's going, but I'm interested. Overall, light yay.
I would kind of second most of what everybody else has said. It is like a little bit samey, but I think it's just because it has its particular formula. I think overall the plots are pretty enjoyable, and I feel like the structure is good, even though it is usually the same between episodes. I do like that they're keeping like a sort of in suspense of how the love story is going to go, because right now it feels like a sort of doomed love story, but I'm interested to see, you know, how that might turn on its head, or what she's going to do, maybe to like fight her fate so she can be with him or something. So I'm invested in like how that's going to go for her, and how the overall like storybook theme is going to end up. And yeah, everything else I guess would be more like character driven a little bit, like what's going on with the weird guy who comes off as really abusive, or whatever's going on in that whole situation. I'm intrigued, but I'm a little confused. But yeah, I like how it's developing. I like how we're seeing more of his emotions and how that is being affected by what Princess Tutu's doing. So I'll give it like a light yay as well.
Oh, you know, the only thing that's going to be a problem when he gets more emotions, we're going to lose the whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of, yeah. Well, they told me to do this. I didn't like the kind of funny, totally emotionless character. But hey, that's the plot for it. So, why don't we talk about the characters in that plot? Envy, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll be completely honest. Duck, I'm liking more and more each week. And as far as the rest of the main cast, I like them less and less each week. Like, I don't count Muto because he's supposed to be a blank slate and slowly he gets his emotions back. But Duck is great. Like, to me, she gets better. I'm invested in her plight. I'm invested in her struggle to, you know, balance being Princess Tutu, a duck, and, you know, being a girl at some point. But I'm invested in her, but I don't like any of the other characters in the show, at least the main characters. Like, her two friends, and I put them in quotation marks, are the biggest bunch of bitches I've seen in a long time. Like, they're not her friends. Like, they never say anything positive about Duck at all. Like, everything's a backhanded compliment or just making fun of them. It's like, why do you hang out with her? It's like, really? Like,
That honestly sounds like middle school friendships in a nutshell, to be honest.
That's so sad.
Yeah, you know, sometimes when you're a kid, you hang out with that one kid on the street who's kind of just an asshole because that's your options.
yeah. I mean, as somebody who was in middle school at one point, I had some friends that were like that, but I also had other friends that didn't make fun of me every single day, like in every single conversation, and basically get surprised every time she does something positive. It's like, no, you can go fuck off. And then Rue and Fakir, I accidentally got spoiled of what happens later on in the show to them. But I will say for right now, you're supposed to not like them, especially Fakir, because he just comes off as, you know, the overprotective butt buddy boyfriend. So, as I've kept saying. And then Rue, yeah, you know, she gets along sometimes with Duck, but at other times, you know, she's woe is me. So, yeah, characters are a low meh, and it's solely because of Duck.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like her two friends. They kind of suck. It's not even just, like, backhanded compliments. I feel like it's more front-handed insults.
Yep.
That too.
Yeah, that's a way to describe it.
Just like I'm being mean to you, but I'm saying it in a cutesy voice, so you kind of think it's a joke, but it's not. They're super annoying, but yeah, what Envy said. The rest of it just, yeah.
So, I probably overall like a light nay this week on characters. First of all, I would love if we could just scoot away all of the screen time the pedo cat has been getting. Like, we could really just do without that. Thanks.
Yeah.
And he had so much screen time this week.
Okay, he was pursuing an adult, I think. She was married, but
Yeah.
at least she was of age.
Fakir comes off really grapey, but at the end of episode 6, we do see maybe another facet of that about why he is concerned potentially. Because again, she is returning only negative emotions at this point, and it does seem like maybe he's not just trying to be an asshole and there is something else going on. And I hated what they did to Rue this week. Everything we have established about her so far has shown, like, she's very gracious when things go wrong. She's very elegant in how she deals with things. And she's really not overly concerned about Muto, like, leaving her. And we took all that and we just chucked that shit out the window. They're like, Rue from the first 3 episodes, never heard of her. This girl's a conniving bitch who flip-flops back and forth, can't tell if she's nice, can't tell if she's mean. She doesn't know what she wants. She wants Muto, but oh no, Muto's being nice. I don't want him anymore. Ew. It's just, it goes contrary to what we've already established. And we could have had really great moments this week, especially in episode 4, where we can see she's struggling. Like, oh, she's not, like, Little Miss Perfect. And instead of actually exploring that, they gave us, like, this whole completely different character. And then, for the husband and wife in episode 6, I was like, oh, look, they're so healthy. And then he, like, comes up to her and he's like, yeah, your dream sucks. Stop dreaming it. I'm like, okay, I guess they're not. And then she's like, oh, honey, you said the best thing ever. I'm like, what is happening here? I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about what just took place. Like, that didn't seem very healthy, but she's happy.
Straight people.
Just straight people, yeah. So, yeah, characterization this week was just, like, a really bad time for me, so, nay.
I feel like I gotta forgive the couple, because weren't they under the influence of a weird heart situation? I'm almost kind of like, you're not in your right mind to begin with. But, like, that might be making excuses. Duck is still very fun, and I love following her, and I really want her to get some confidence and stop saying, I'm just a duck. You're so much more than a duck. You're awesome. Yeah, her friends suck. I think that's general consensus.
Yeah.
Her friends suck. Cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
yes.
Can't wait till they're gone.
Just kill them off.
Yeah, I mean, that would be
Will they
great,
ever
wouldn't
be
it?
gone?
I
I
don't know.
have some unfortunate news.
Yeah. I was getting really sick of the cat's marriage jokes, because they got old fast and they kept showing up, but he got funny whenever the couple showed up. I'm like, okay, now it's all right, put a little variety into it. It can be funny a little bit. Just stop with the children, I guess, is the main thing. But yeah, episode 6, I actually thought he was pretty funny. Amazingly. Rue and Fakir. Fakir, interesting. Because we now know there's something more. Rue, Cozy, I think this might be me. I feel like Rue in the previous episodes, when they were being very gracious, when they were being all that, it was always when she was in public with people. So I'm almost wondering if there's an element of she's trying to save face with people. But then when people aren't around, that's when the real Rue comes out, and she's a little more like what we saw here. But I don't know.
She still maintained that persona with Duck before.
But...
And we don't have any reason for her to have dropped the act.
But I feel like we might have, because now she knows Duck has some kind of connection and interest in Muto at the same time the Princess Tutu showed up. I don't think that she's put it together yet, but I do think that she's wary of Duck now, and that's why the mask is slipping. Again, we're watching these very, like, when was the last time we watched Princess Tutu? 4 weeks ago, so I'm a little, like, I might be, like,
I just
Mandeling.
watched it.
No, the previous episodes.
Oh, the
Yeah.
old ones, yeah. you're right.
I might be Mandeling a little bit. But, yeah. Here's my one complaint. Here's my major complaint. Because up to this point, we've seen animal people throughout the show. Well, here and there. And to some degree, I can get behind it. We had Anteater Rena doing ballet. Okay, all right. Anthropomorphic Anteater doing a thing. The cat is also a teacher, is like doing stuff. I'm like, I'm fine with that. How the fuck did the penguin play the piano with flippers? Someone explain it to me, because I've played piano before.
Racist?
Say again?
Racist?
It's a physicality
His
thing. He has
flippers-
2 flippers. That's it. How is he hitting
His
all the
flippers
keys?
fast as fuck, boy. They fast as fuck.
How can you hit more than 3 keys with only 2 flippers at the
Maybe
same time?
He's using his beak.
He's
Watch
not.
Mary
He's
Poppins,
not.
I
His
think.
head was up the whole time. His posture was fantastic.
You're just a hater.
Yeah, I am a hater
He
for
is a
things that
penguin
don't
prodigy.
make sense. Yeah, doesn't make sense to me. It's the only thing that I was like, what is going on here? This has completely taken me out of the show about
That was your
fairy
limit.
tales coming to life. Like, I can take the fairy tales coming to life. I can take the dance battles to save someone's soul and deal with their anxiety. I can take anthropomorphic animals. I draw the line at playing the piano with penguin flippers.
Well, you wouldn't like the new Mario Kart that's coming out in a couple months because one of the characters you can play as is a Goomba.
You can drive with your you can steer with your feet. One for the pedals, one for the steering wheel. That makes sense to me.
No, he's gonna drive with his mouth.
That too. They got a big mouth and they can chomp right onto that wheel.
Tell me how the skeleton fish is gonna drive.
Okay, hold up now. What?
There's a skeleton fish that's gonna be a driver.
I think we need more research
Just
into
a
this.
skeleton fish.
In the meantime, I feel
Back to Tutu. How did you feel about the electric eel?
the electric eel's primary function
yes.
seems to be to provide electricity, which is definitely not an efficient method, but okay, fucking fine, I guess.
He's
Like-
their manager.
Yeah, he said they're their manager, but he also never talks, so I'm like, maybe they're just crazy.
I think
Yes.
maybe he turned into an eel when they entered the town.
This world doesn't make sense, but whatever. I think overall I'm a light yay because I'm very intrigued as to what a lot of people are doing and what's going on.
I felt somewhat meh about the characters this week. I feel like some just kind of get a little repetitive and samey to me and not much development. Kind of like her friends are just sort of annoying, don't really add anything. I still like Duck. I agree with everyone else. She is excellent. But yeah, I was kind of so-so on Rue as well. She didn't really give me anything that I enjoyed this week. And she kind of was more irritating to me than she was before. I like what's going on with Muto. I feel like they're developing his emotions well and him having more emotions now. So I'm interested in getting to know him as a person, I guess. And then, I don't know, the other guy, what was his name again? The abusive boyfriend?
Fakir?
Fakir. I don't know. Like, I'm interested in seeing what is going on with him. I guess that's my one single interest in him is just like, why is he like that? But yeah, I would say Duck is really the character I'm most attached to right now. Not super attached to anyone else, but kind of interested in seeing where it's going with some people. So like, meh.
Yeah, I'm pretty much gonna parrot what everyone else is saying. Duck is best girl, her friends suck. Muto is, getting his emotions back, so he's like kinda getting there, and with his fear returning, it's like the boy is going through some trauma right now, so I feel pretty bad for him. Rue is her character is not being very consistent, so I don't really, I'm like kind of like I'm like, please give me something to work with here. With Fakir, the thing with him, and the thing is I kind of figured like his overprotective assholeness was mostly him, like, once we kind of got into sort of the meat and potatoes of what was going on and Muto getting his emotions back, I kind of figured that's why he was acting this way. However, I wish they would have turned it down a little bit because it comes off way less more of a, like, he's concerned about Muto possibly getting these emotions back and having to, like, relive, like, his trauma, because obviously, like, as we saw with the end of episode 6, that was, like, a pretty big thing, and I guess it's just kind of like, could we maybe have had him be a bit, like, have the characterization done a little bit differently, I guess is what I'm saying. But, yeah, I kind of don't really know how to feel about it. I guess I'm giving it a meh. Duck is still best girl.
Duck is ducking awesome.
Yes.
Can I add in really quickly before we move on to world building? The lamp. The lamp is also best girl. She did nothing wrong.
She is.
Fair point. Fair point by you. So world building, speaking of, Cece, you have any notes on it? Sorry, never not notes, but have any thoughts on it?
Wow. I'm sick, I'll have you know.
I'm sorry.
It's mostly just about the eel.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of confused on the line with anthro animals in here. Mr. Cat, Auntie Dorina, they're allowed to be animals. the penguin, kinda. The eel, not really. I mean, okay, maybe he's just mute. It just could be that he can't talk. But, like, why can't Duck be a duck? Why does she have to turn into a girl?
I feel like we've discussed this, the Goofy Pluto situation.
We have.
Have you thought about Goofy and Pluto?
Ballet.
Let's not bring this
Try
back
doing
again.
ballet with duck feet.
It's up to Yin whether we have to bring this up again.
I think it needs brought up. But I don't know, like, is it because she's so small? Is that what makes it different?
You try getting on point with duck feet.
Start playing piano with flippers. It's possible.
I don't know what the difference is, but I don't know. Maybe it's like I don't know. Can the animals be with the people?
Auntie Dorina seemed to
How?
believe so.
I guess that's true. So she could still be with Muto. I
The
don't know.
cat seems to want to... You know what? Let's not go with
The
there
cat
with
wants
the
a lot of
cat.
things the cat shouldn't want. So.
Yeah.
That's all I have for world building. I would just like that to be a little more clean or like defined, I guess.
World building for me continues to be go girl, give us nothing. The world is just wacky, whimsical. It doesn't seem like they want us to think it makes sense. They're trying to just wave it all off as like, oh, but it's all story, so it's okay. But like, why is Rue like, she sees Duck is observing like the dance battle for Muto, and she's just like, yeah, no, this is normal. There's no reason Duck should question this. And like, I don't know, like I feel like at the very least that would have warranted like if you tell anyone about what you saw, no one will believe you. But just know, I'll know if you tell them. Like, just, there's so many things that they just accept as fact and no one reacts to. But then again, like, there is the potential, I feel like, with the troop where they're like, oh, was our troop leader always an eel? I don't think he was. So maybe it is, like, some weird magic that's just making everyone be like, yeah, no, that's just how this world works. But I don't like that as an explanation, so I'm an A.
Penguin playing the piano, full nay. Here's a thought. Because we've only seen really this academy of dance and whatnot, we haven't really experienced a whole lot of the adult world in this universe, other than the adults who have been possessed by Muto's heart shards. Is it possible we're living in a sort of Yu-Gi-Oh-esque world where instead of duel monsters and card games, they settle their differences through dance battles?
I think that's just Princess Tutu.
Yeah.
Okay, but like Cozy said, Rue did the dance battle to try to get Muto away from Giselle.
That's true.
So, I kind of just want to see a Yu-Gi-Oh world where they just break dance to fight. Anyone else?
They also just, they accept that there's like a ghost funeral procession. Like, that's normal stuff you see every day.
Maybe not normal, but not so far out of the ordinary that it'd be unheard of. Yeah, kind of vague, kind of weird. I do like a lot of the elements of the world, though. Confusing as they are, the stories coming to life is fun, which I guess established in our narration things like at the very beginning of the series of like the stories became real for I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, it's
then,
difficult.
well, I mean, at the beginning of every episode, they kind of sort of delve into the story for whatever we're going to be looking at today, like Monster
Yeah.
of the Week. So they're kind of building out the story or world building for each episode individually, which I think is a little bit like, it's a different way to do it, but it's also like, you're just giving us like stuff to, give us a preview for what to expect this week.
But the very first one was about, hey, an author wrote a story, did not make an ending, so the characters had to make an ending for themselves. And it's almost like, I feel like I brought up, is this a theological thing of like, God abandoned the universe and so we had to come up with our own thing?
It's deism.
Yes. So, if so, I don't know where that puts me here. But I don't know where I'm going with this, but I do like think some of the themes in philosophy, which I guess we can maybe include in world, maybe it's production. I don't know. But like, it is interesting. I liked the last episode, especially where they were kind of like, okay, who's to say that he wants his emotions back?
Yeah.
Like, that's also an interesting question. Like, if you do something for someone but they didn't ask for it, is that a good thing? What if they don't actually want it to begin with?
We're getting to Incredibles territory.
Yes, yes. Which, as we all know, probably included animal people. So, maybe this universe is Pixar. And eventually everyone will turn into cars.
As it should be.
I'm kind of a meh here because, like, it's raising a lot of questions that I'm very interested, but it's also like, weird. I don't know that I get it.
I don't think we're supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fairy tale vibes of the world. I enjoy that it has like the little storybook bumpers with the weird old man. I don't know, it gives me whimsy and I like whimsy. I don't really need to understand everything that's going on. But I don't know if these 3 episodes particularly gave me anything new about the world. I don't know, like, so I was kind of like a meh this week just because I feel like everything that it gave me here I've already been given, but I don't know. So I guess like maybe a high meh to a light yay, just because I enjoy the world overall, even though it makes no sense.
I would say I'm probably a meh here. I didn't really feel like we got a whole lot of like world building-ish actual stuff. I mean, we did get a little bit with, like, there's stuff that actually goes on in the town, like the fire festival and things. And also, like, with the troop coming to town and them asking, was our manager always an eel? I'm kind of just convinced that this entire town is just like a pocket dimension where, like, fairy tale shit just happens and people turn into animals. And, you know, maybe once people turn into animals, they forget about the outside world. But, I don't know. I still think it's a little bit silly, which I think for a show like this is fine, but like they didn't really give us anything really to work with for these 3 episodes, aside from that little tidbit.
What if the whole show is just Duck's dream, and the end, their ED, where Duck is just sitting there on the water with her eyes closed and then opens her eyes at the end, is the end of the series because it was all her, like, having a dream while sitting on the water.
I would be pissed.
Yeah, me too, but I'm saying the possibility may exist.
Please no.
It does not. It does not.
Okay, good.
I'll spoil that for you.
Thank you.
You spoiled. There's not that bad of an ending. It might be a bad ending.
No,
I don't have no
think-
idea. It's not the bad ending that I came up with.
I think the ending for the series is pretty good. I will say that.
Okay.
My thoughts are pretty much the same as what Yen said. It's a fairy tale. Some things I'm willing to overlook because it's a whimsical fairy tale world. And then, yeah, it's just, for me, the world building is what each monster or creature of the week Duck has to overcome with dancing, and then what emotion is Mewtwo going to get back. So yeah, I'm just a meh overall at world building.
Alrighty. Cozy, why don't you tell us your thoughts on production?
So, I don't know what it was, but this week I really noticed how awkwardly the opening cuts off, like right at the ending.
The fade out?
Mm-hmm.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so abrupt and jarring. But other than that, I mean, this whole series is centered around ballet. And I really just want them to animate more fucking ballet. Like, I thought we were getting it in Giselle. And then, like, in the actual climactic moments, they cut to still shots again. I'm like, damn it! Like, the art style, very beautiful. The music choices obviously go because they're dancing to the actual ballet scoring. I want to see more animated ballet!
I think you said last time you wish this was, like, remade with a bigger budget, didn't you?
Honestly, if that would get us more ballet, yes.
Yeah, I could see it. You never know. It might happen. They remake stuff every now and then. I still like the art and music. I think you're right. There are some issues with... A lot of it does go to stills, but I'm like remembering like a lot of 90s anime did that every now and then, unfortunately. I'm not saying like that's an excuse of like the times or something, but like...
I'm just like... I think it's more nowhere in this does it give us like a moment besides like the opening where I'm like, oh wow, that's where obviously all the budget went. Like this really beautifully animated sequence. Like it doesn't have that anywhere.
How many episodes is this?
It's 20.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably distributing it a little bit more. Hey, maybe they stuffed it all at the end, so if we get there, it'll be like amazing. But I don't know. I can't tell that at this point. Still, I like the character designs. I like the backgrounds. I like seeing all the various locations that we go to and that, which are all very nice. And again, the music's fantastic. So overall, I'm a light yay for production.
Yeah, I would give it a light yay. I still enjoy the production of this overall. Not much has changed since the first couple episodes, for better or worse. I would say overall it looks pretty though, and I like the use of the music. I think, yeah, the battles could be a little bit better done, or could include more dancing. I kind of do agree with that. Or could just be more visually interesting in general. But overall, like, I think it's really pretty and the style fits the show well. So, and the character designs are pretty good overall. So I would still give it like a light yay.
Yeah, I'ma agree. Give it a light yay. Everything Yin and Al said. Moving on.
Yeah, I got really nothing else to add. I mean, you either like the style or you don't like the style. I don't mind the watercolor style, and I like the classical ballet music, and I do agree we could get more ballet moves. Now, granted, I don't know much about ballet and how many different moves there are, but I have seen a few ballets before, and yeah, there is more to it than just twirling in a circle, but maybe they were limited on what they could animate, because it is hard to animate dancing. I do know that for modern anime. It's hard to animate dancing and playing instruments. I know that. That's why a lot of times with idol shows, they make them CG. But that's just a side point.
I wonder if this would have been super uncanny if they had rotoscoped the dancing.
I think I would have
good.
preferred that, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, could have been really nice. I mean, they've been doing it since like the 20s.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
old style.
I mean, could they have done that with the technology back then?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Rotoscoping
absolutely.
like became popular like in early Disney and the Max Fleischer cartoons. So
Yeah,
it would have been like 50, 60 years worth of that at that point.
It's why a lot of the dance animations between Disney movies look very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rotoscoping is basically like the first form of filmmaking. What did you say?
I said they rotoscoped a lot of like the performances for Yuri on Ice.
Yeah, they did that too.
I think there it works. I think ballet lends itself.
Who made Yuri
to
on
that
Ice? 'Cause
style.
they might actually be pretty good at a tutu.
Mappa.
That could be cool to see.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
As long as they're not like rushing to put out the episodes.
Yeah, that's true, Yeah.
Yeah.
But that might be
We
a
all
more
remember.
larger conversation about the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
Mappa is particularly bad with that sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the Udapri endings, they rotoscoped like their idol dance, and it's so uncanny. It's really hard to watch.
Ah,
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I feel like rotoscope usually looks really good.
It depends on the style, I guess.
Yeah.
That's true.
And who's doing it sometimes.
Yeah.
And if other dances had not been rotoscoped and then suddenly they are.
Ooh,
True.
fair.
Oh, okay. Then it's juxtaposition.
Could be jarring.
Yeah. Also, did you guys catch the Beauty and the Beast prologue? Alright, I'm gonna take that as a no.
Wait a minute. I'm actually trying to think now because it's now like we took a little bit of a pause because we have a little bit of time because like the episodes going down took through the whole schedule off, so we had like a week off here. I watched these 2 weeks ago. I feel like maybe I thought of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Go on.
I'm trying to find. I think Alan Menken sampled a different ballet when he wrote the prologue. That or Princess Tutu just is straight using up Beauty and the Beast in one of these episodes.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Oh.
Didn't we watch a show where they had like the opening to Beauty, or like the Beauty and the Beast song was like the beginning of their like love song in the
Are you
show?
talking about the
Yes.
Which
what
one was
that?
it?
that Japanese live action show?
Was it the BL show?
The man who
The Man Who Defies the World of BL?
Yeah.
Oh, it was that.
I think that was
yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they took like the first like 6 notes.
and
It's
then
like,
it switched to something.
Hold up, we know what this is.
Yeah.
You think Disney can't find you in Japan?
Very weird. I guess they did.
Apparently not.
Right.
I want to say that comes from a different ballet, but I'm not saying anything about it. I'm doing my best to find something to back this up.
Well, I believe you until you're proven wrong, so.
Awesome.
Okay, well,
Okay, final thoughts.
I'll take us into final thoughts. Although I didn't think we got as much plot progression and world building as last time, the show still seems to be moving at a relatively steady pace towards something that feels interesting. And I still like the look and feel of the show, and the characters are enjoyable enough, not all of them, but for the most part, I am interested in most of them, and Duck is a solid selling point for the show, I think. So, I enjoy continuing and seeing what stories, come up next and what they'll do with it. So, I think overall a light yay.
Yeah, I felt similarly. I feel like, unfortunately, these episodes didn't give me anything wow, though. It definitely was kind of more of the same, but I wouldn't say that the same was bad. I overall really liked these episodes. I kind of wish there was a little bit more progression, but I feel like I'm still interested in where these plot threads will go. And I still do really like Duck, and I'm invested in her story. And I feel like the individual little episodes are fun and interesting, even though they are like very formulaic. I feel like they're still good. So overall, I would give it like a high meh to like a light yay for this week in particular. But I do feel like overall, I enjoy the show. I just want it to like maybe progress a little bit more, but still interested.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this a light yay. The episodes were like, they are following like a formula, but I enjoyed what I saw. I still like Duck. She is literally kicking everyone's asses in the character department. And while we're not really getting a whole lot of world building, I'm still kind of like intrigued. I have a lot of questions. Yeah.
Kind of like what everyone else is saying. I am kind of intrigued, on what emotions she'll find next from Yuto, and hopefully they give more explanation for Fakir's motivation. Like, there has to be a reason why he's so protective, like even beyond, he's getting the bad emotions first. Like, there had to be a reason why he wanted him to be locked in his room and do nothing all the time. So yeah, I hope we get more explanation for that. And Duck, just change your friend group. Like, literally hang out with anybody else. Like, you have other people in your class, maybe they're nicer to you. Like, it's sad when the pervy cat teacher gave her more compliments in these first 6 episodes than her supposed friends.
I found it.
It's a mess.
Sorry. It is Aquarium from the Carnival of the Animals. It's a French romantic composer.
Oh, so it's kind of public domain at this point.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Yeah, that's who Alan Menken sampled for Beauty and the Beast, and it does give very ballet vibes, so not surprising to hear it in this show. I like this show. It's a yay from me. I don't know much to say about it, but I like the ballet.
So first and foremost, I just want to say, Duck has firmly landed me in this is anti-fashion territory.
Oh.
That outfit was fucking ugly. Like, the shorts and long sleeve. Ugly. Not fashion. But I really liked where we were going in the kind of messaging behind, hey, these are negative emotions, but it's important you have those too. They're part of, like, what makes you human and alive. But then we had a train wreck crash the car. The end of episode 6, we are going back on that lesson because, she's so sad because he got fear back and now he's afraid of her. So why should she be giving back his emotion? Like, yeah, he's gonna react badly, but, like, now we're having, like, this whole crisis of faith in the mission moment. Like, no! The message was, the emotions suck, but it's worth having them. We don't get to go back 2 episodes later and be like, actually, nah, he could have missed that one. That really kind of dampened my enjoyment of it, like, literally in the final hour of this week's 3 episodes.
All right, so that's Princess Tutu for the week. Why don't we take a look at their competitor from the Sup Brah category, Shugo Chara, which won the Sup Brah category and was the only one that did not have a protagonist who was a dude, which probably is for the best, being in a magical girl tournament and whatnot. But yeah, so what happened with Shugo Chara? We're continuing to see the adventures of Amu as she now has joined the student council, or the elementary guardian, whatever the hell they call themselves, and she's the Joker. Not like the Joker, but like the Joker. But not like that Joker. Like the Joker. Like, she's the wild card of the group. And that means you're the one with the most responsibilities. Because that's what a wild card does.
That means you're probably an incel.
Yeah, that's the other Joker that I said she was not. There's probably plenty of incels in the show. But again, they're in elementary school. Let's not go there right away. They have time to fix it. Honestly, you know what this show... You know what? I'll save this for later, but you've given me a thought that I'll expand upon at a later time. We're hitting this show's formula of here's the anxiety that our classmates are dealing with, and it's going to turn into a bad Chara, and then we fight the Chara to make them feel better instead of going to therapy, which saves them a lot of money. From a mental health cost standpoint. But again, they're in Japan, so healthcare is like free. So I don't know. Anyway, that's kind of what we're doing.
But they're in Japan, famously bad for their mental health care.
Also true.
Yeah.
So it's like, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I have no idea if this is a good thing or a bad thing. It's probably a good thing
Better than nothing.
overall in this show. But yeah, so... One girl was moving to America and didn't want to. One kid wanted to be good at soccer and he wasn't. And one kid, oh God, what was the last one?
Ballet.
Ballet. That's right.
The prima.
We have a theme this week.
We have more ballet.
Yeah. So, and then Cat Guy showed up a couple times. Also, I think we got a villain.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. Yin, what'd you think of the plot?
So, this is another show that definitely has its formula. So a lot of these episodes very much followed that, what you were talking about, a kid has an anxiety and then it turns into the Chara, the Kara, or however you say it. And then she has to fight it, and she usually recognizes something about herself too. And she was actually able to unlock one of her other little outfits, and that was cute. So I feel like in a lot of ways this show's plot is very character driven, which I enjoy. It does remind me of, and I don't know, the Cute High felt like it had the same thing going on.
Hey,
right?
Hey, are you saying the Shugo Chara is for the boys?
I think maybe it is
Oh
for
my
the
God.
boys. I don't know. They're the same.
Maybe they were in the right bracket the whole time.
So I just thought that was funny. The more I see of this, the more I'm like, wait, this is really similar to the other one. So I don't know if the other one was inspired by this somehow, but
It was like, what if, but stupid.
yeah, what if but silly? I don't know, but still, I do like the way that they formulated this plot and the way that I feel like, everybody else's anxieties connect back to the main girls as well. When she was thinking about, oh, I'm struggling to change, and the other girl who's worried about moving is also struggling with change. So I felt like they did a good job of doing that. So overall, I felt pretty positively about the overall plot of these 3 episodes. I also feel like we got a little bit more of ooh, now we have a shadowy villain or whatever, disguised as a goofy professor. So that could be interesting. So I think we're seeing more about what could come later a little bit, even though overall it was kind of formulaic. So I would give it a light yay for plot. I think it was pretty solid.
I will also give these episodes a light yay for plot. I would say and this is kind of a thing about magical girl shows. I think we've already established by now that they are pretty formulaic past a certain point. So there are a lot of episodes where they're not plot heavy episodes, that they're kind of just going to be, what is our monster of the week? What is our moral quandary that we're going to be exploring? Or what is this week's anxiety that we're going to explore? And so that's kind of just a thing. I think it's fine. For a show that's sort of like this, it's kind of something you just generally expect. And I thought they were fine. The first episode, we kind of touched more on the change aspect. And then the other 2 episodes, we got a little bit more character things because we kind of got to get to know some of our other Guardian characters a bit better in Kukai and Yaya. So those were interesting little bits. But yeah, light yay for these.
Yeah, I enjoyed these episodes. It instead of monster of the week, it's like anxiety of the week. It's like what trauma, not trauma, but like what kind of concern, kids of any age really. Like I feel like all three of these concerns can affect kids negatively at any age, moving to a new city, not getting picked to be the starting team for a sport, and you feel like you're the top dog in your sport or activity, and then you get injured and you can't compete. Like, any kid of any age can deal with stuff like that, and I liked how they addressed all three of them, like, and how they resolved them. Although I guess you could make the argument that they never really solved their issues themselves. It took Amu beating the shit out of their subconscious to have them resolved, but that's it's one of those things where you don't really think about it too much, otherwise you kind of get into an ethical dilemma about that. But yeah, overall I enjoyed these episodes and their stories and what they told, as well as exploring Amu's trauma. Like I feel like each week she gets less and less insecure about herself while dealing with other people's problems. So I guess there's that going for her.
I took a lot of notes on this one, actually. Except for the plot category.
I would like you to know Cece's definition of a lot of notes is like one sentence for each category.
No.
That's a lot for Cece.
There's like 4 for most of them. Anyway, for plot, I wrote, more ballet! Let's fucking go, gamers! Also, I can't believe they made a whole plot line out of, do you love the color of the sky?
What, that was it?
Yeah, no, that was the extent of her notes.
I took notes!
So yeah, kind of just going off of same thing everyone else has been saying. This week is really, I think, the first week we're moving into like a formulaic, more monster of the week with the X-Karas, but that is advancing us a little bit further from just the X-Eggs, which is what we had saw previously at the end of episode 3. But we still have like an overarching like world building and character building going on underneath all of the monster of the week, tying it together. And then my last note on it was, oh hey, more ballet. So I'm a lady on this.
Hey, you remember how I said something that you said made me think of something, and I would elaborate on that? So I've already forgotten what that was, so that's fine.
Why you write this shit down?
Because I'm doing 12 other things as I'm recording this right now to make sure that this works correctly. Meantime, though, here's my thoughts on the plot. Pretty much everything that everyone said. I don't want to repeat too much stuff. Yada yada, joke about mental health services and helping kids with anxiety attacks. I think it's great that they have like this fantastical premise, but that explores like a really realistic kind of thing about it is great. My one complaint is that like I'm fine with the week-to-week stuff, that I feel like that's going to be a thing moving forward, but I also don't feel like we got to like, what's up with the villain, what's up with Chat Noir is what I'm going to call him because I don't remember his name.
Hell yeah.
And like, I kind of wish I'd gotten a little bit more of that, but other than that, it's fine. So I'll give it a light yay.
It was something about, child incels.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so my thoughts on this, and this might be a world-building thought, but what if fixing the X-Eggs prevents them from becoming an incel? Think about it.
I could see it.
It's like, what makes most people incels is like they have like bad feelings, bad emotions, they don't deal with them, and then they grow up letting them fester.
So, is the teacher then just a giant incel?
Possibly. Probably.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm going to say that, yeah. So, characters, why don't you tell us what you thought about the characters?
Me?
Yeah. Unless you don't want to, but I think you might.
So, I like the characters in this show. We get to see a bit more of Amu dealing with her insecurities and going through things, like normal kids do, and going to overcome them as she goes through the episodes. We also got, again, our intro to, like our antagonist, I guess, for, this section of the show, Nikaido-sensei, who is a very, very goofy man as, his in-class persona, but outside he is very different. And then, so episode 5 was an episode that we got with Kukai, who is soccer boy, and, just sort of getting to spend some time with him a little bit. Same with Yaya for episode 6 with her and, the ballet. We got to see your Kira's, Daichi? Yes, and I forget what Yaya's Kira is named.
Baby Yaya?
Yeah, I can't remember, but it's just sort of interesting to see like what sort of people their inner selves are. I would give this like a light yay. I don't really have any complaints for characters for this week.
I'm also a yay for the characters. I like Amu. I do like all the members of the court, or whatever they're called. But I will say, will they ever participate in the fighing? Like, ever?
Yes.
Or does Amu have...
Eventually.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I felt like the ballet girl, like the member of the court, like, I felt like she was the first one that ever did attempted to do any other fighting other than Amu.
Nadeshiko tried to stab Ikuto.
Yeah, she
yes,
did.
It's true.
I will say there's a reason for that.
But I mean, I still like them as characters. Don't get me wrong. I like their camaraderie and banter with Amu. It's just wish they can do more. It's not just a one-person team.
Well, keep in mind, they don't have full transformations yet.
They should work
Yeah.
on that.
At first, I wasn't big on the three Chars themselves, but they're kind of growing on me. Like the cheerleading Chara, the main one, I thought she was kind of annoying in the first couple episodes, but she's slowly less annoying for me. The other two Charas I thought are cute mascots, but they're fine. And yeah, each of the individual students that we focused on, you know, they did enough for me to where they felt believable enough. Like, they had their own issues. They lashed out at certain points, but they're not assholes like some of the characters in Princess Tutu were. So yeah, I thought, and like especially the ballet prima, it's like she could have just been a total bitch the entire episode, but at the very end, she respected the fact that yeah, I got shitty luck, I got injured, I'm still, you know, I'm going to recover eventually, and I'm going to hopefully do the next show. So yeah, I just gotta own up to it. So, and I like that a lot. So yeah, overall, I give characters a yay.
My notes for characters was, ooh, the dorky teacher is evil. The ballet teacher is way too nice. I've never had a dance teacher that nice before. Prima ballerina girl is me. I'm always sitting there whenever I'm watching people acting as ballerinas in movies and stuff. I'm sitting there like, ooh, you don't have dance training. Those are some weak arms. Your knees aren't straight. Absolutely judging them.
This is why brunch is going to be so much fun.
When Mom was trying the Prima costume on Yaya, she was like, so I made it for my daughter, so it might be a little tight on you. I'm like, ooh, that is Dance Mom for you are fat. She 100% said that on purpose. And then, oh, dance teacher's yelling. There we go. That's a ballet teacher.
So, first and foremost, I like that Amu is relating to the side characters, like our kind of NPCs. I like that they're foils for issues she's facing in her own life, and helping them is helping herself understand her own feelings and work through them. It also felt so on brand that when she was going to look for the soccer guy, she got distracted by a planetarium and completely forgot what she was doing. So on brand for a 12-year-old. I also really like that we got something on her and her interests. Like, she apparently really likes space. Do we know why? No, but we can tell it's something she's passionate about because she went back.
Do you have to have a reason to like space? It's space.
Maybe because
Space
she's
cool.
spacey.
Wow.
We kind of got the bare minimum on both Kukai and Yaya. They're still kind of empty in terms of character. I like that we got more of Miki this week. Like, Ron continues to be a dick to Amu. Definitely makes her regret being a mother of 3. But, like, we saw that Miki this week. She's really interested in capturing, like, beauty. She doesn't really care so much that the prima ballerina was being a dick. She was like, her soul was beautiful, and I wanted to preserve that. And it helped Amu also see it. And then we also got some more characterization for Ikuto. You know, they kind of set him up to just kind of be this asshole dick antagonist. We kind of see that there's someone else pulling the strings, and that he also does genuinely feel bad about humane stuff. Like, he felt bad he ruined her tart, so he bought her snacks. Is he really bad at apologizing about it? Yeah. But he's a cat, so on brand again. You know, like a cat knocks your dinner over and they'll bring you a dead mouse to say sorry. It's just how it is. Yeah, so I had a really great time with characters for Shugo Chara, so I'm a yay.
No one's doing anything wrong here, but for some reason, I'm just not connecting very well. It's a me thing, I know that. Chat Noir I didn't think he could get creepier, and he did. And, yeah. Like, I do wish the other Guardians were more useful. The Charas are fun. Like, whether it's the 3 little balls of chaos that she's carrying around, or the other little ones that are just like, yeah, let's just be weird and add like a little bit of spice to the soup and that, or the just bizarre little X-Chara things. Because those are honestly kind of fun to just have as just like a little thing. But I don't know. I guess we also have the villain who's just Aizen, but like an incel, I guess, and he's trying to maybe make Chat Noir an incel too? I don't know.
Hey, I think Chat Noir just proves you're purify the X-Cares to stop people from becoming incels. I kind of think he is an incel, and that's why he's such a weirdo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say he has not dealt with his negative emotions.
That's true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess you could fix him, girl.
Oh, God, no.
But do we
please.
want to fix him?
I don't at this point. Like, I don't, again, I can look and see that they're not doing anything wrong here, so I want to give them like a light yay or something, but I honestly feel kind of meh about it, because I don't know that I care that much about any one character here. So I'll say meh to a light yay.
Well, it's okay. We know you don't connect to a 12-year-old girl.
It's good to hear that, I guess.
I would give characters like a yay overall. I would say I enjoyed most of the characters here. I definitely like Amu a lot, and I feel like they continue to develop her character pretty well. And I like her dynamics with the other characters, even the Monster of the Week type characters, which I feel like they do pretty well too, even though there's a limited space for them. I feel like they're all, going through relatable things, and I enjoy each of their little stories. And then the long-term characters, like everybody in the school council, I think, they haven't gotten too much development, but I still enjoy them for the most part. I would like to see more from them, but, it's still early days, so I don't blame it that much. So, and then in terms of, like, the villain side of things, yeah, I haven't gotten too much from Catboy yet, but I'll give him time to maybe do something interesting. I don't know. I think they're setting up some kind of love story there. I don't know how I feel about that. It's weird. It's weird, but I don't know. Like, I can't say that he comes off as like a bad character per se. Like, I can see like little things that could be interesting about him, but he's just weird and uncomfy. But I am interested in the teacher. Yeah, he's kind of a goofy trope kind of thing. You have like him being silly and then, oh, but he's not. He's actually evil. But it's like, I don't know. I could enjoy that. I feel pretty interested in where he's going and what his motivations are. I don't know, like, all that is fine. And I did think it added something to Catboy, even though I still am kind of hesitant about him. I think that adds something to his story that might make it more interesting. But overall, I think Amu and her little Karas are the main, like, draw here, and I think they do that really well. So I'll give it a yay.
Okay. Well, Envy, do you want to take us into world building?
Yeah, nothing incredibly new. It's more of, like I said earlier, anxiety of the week. It's like a character gets an anxiety and the X-egg forms, and then Amu's got to fight it. I mean, we get a little, I guess, okay, I guess I should say we did find out that, there is a mastermind villain that is new, and we get more context, I guess, of certain things. But yeah, nothing other than the mastermind villain. There really wasn't nothing incredibly new At least from what I watched. So I guess it's kind of like a light yay to a high Met overall. Because I still enjoy the world of this show, and I still enjoy the concept of the Charas.
Are we on world building?
Yeah.
This is the other one that I only took one note for, and this says, okay, so we're calling pregnancies injuries now?
What?
What was the context?
What?
What?
The ballet mom, she had to quit ballet because of an injury. Yeah, 9-month injury. Gotcha.
Oh.
I know how to read these.
Wait, I thought the girl had seen her mom dance, so she'd already had her by the time.
Yeah,
She
Yeah.
said it was like a leg injury.
So it was just a regular
Don't
injury.
come back from that.
Yeah, it was a regular
She
injury.
said it was like a knee injury.
You don't come back from that.
You don't come back from a knee injury? Yeah, I think that's what they
She
said.
didn't
No,
come
you
back
don't come back from a pregnancy.
This feels like projecting, but okay.
What?
Yeah, wow. We all know Cece never got back to their ballet career after she got pregnant.
Yeah, that is why I had to stop when I was 13.
Ugh.
Wow.
Ugh.
Can we just restart this whole category with Cece? I feel like we just derailed.
That was the only note.
Oh, gosh.
So, yay, nay,
I'm
meh?
just gonna steamroll us through here while Cece is being a gremlin over on the side.
Ballet dancers are typically ending their career by 34. And that's on the old end.
Maybe she
That
was
doesn't
34
mean
and she
you
broke her
can't have a
knee.
kid and come back.
Just saying.
So for world building, we did get the antagonist. We're kind of seeing more about the council and some of their duties. We have the ex-Karas now. Like I said, before it was just the ex-eggs, so now we get to see a little bit what happens when they hatch. The council seemed very surprised she could purify them, so I'm gonna guess they are used to destroying them. Or at least I feel like that's what's being implied. So I think we had a whole bunch of kids who prior to this were just getting their inner selves completely fucking blasted off the map.
Oh god, what if they got lobotomized?
Yay for Amu, because, again, they seemed really surprised she could do that. So, yay, we're not destroying kids' minds. But, like, yeah, it wasn't much, but I feel like what they set up is very, like, important and going to lead into other things. Meh to a light yay?
Yeah, I agree that we got some stuff about that. I disagree that the student council has any responsibilities. I don't know that I've seen them do anything necessarily.
They did a shit ton of paperwork.
Okay. Yeah. Like, I'm kind of waiting for a moment that one of them is like, my work here is done, but you didn't do anything. But
Like, they have a lot of paperwork, and obviously they had been dealing with the ex-Eggs and ex-Karas up until this point.
yeah, I guess so.
Why'd they stop?
Oh, because Amu showed up and now
Because
her
it's
show.
Amu's, yeah, it's her show.
Yeah, I kind of wish we could have gotten a little bit more about, like, the ex-eggs and and this whole embryo thing, the locket, the lock, I feel like we didn't get a lot there. And, like, I do like the new monsters and stuff, and that's great. That's a nice addition.
Can I argue that's by design?
I
Because
know.
they have already said that they don't actually know what's going on.
Yeah.
The original founder just said, hey, this is gonna happen.
Take this. It'll be important someday. Why? Take it. And he disappeared into the ether. Or he
And
went to
then
the planetarium.
tuxedo masked.
Yeah. So, planetarium guys like King's brother or something, right? They have, like, almost the same haircut. Am I crazy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Good. Some stuff. Other stuff, I'm kind of like, I'm kind of a meh here. I don't know what it is. It's like, I'm just not... Maybe it was just this week was a bad week for me. I just wasn't feeling it. But, kind of meh. It's not doing anything wrong, really.
I feel like you don't think Shugo Chara is for the boys.
You know, I really want it to be for the boys. I do. But, yeah.
Yeah, for world building, I'd give it like kinda a meh as well. Just because I didn't get that much new. Like, we got the the teacher and stuff, but honestly, like, that's kind of more like a new character. So I don't know if there was too much in the way of world building. I still enjoy this world. I think the world overall, like, as much as it can make sense, it makes sense, you know? Like, I'm not like, okay, this doesn't make sense to me. So, I don't know, like, I think the world building is fine, but, like, from these particular 3 episodes, I didn't get much. But, like, I enjoy the overall world, so it's certainly not a nay. It's just kind of like, meh.
Yeah, I'm also probably giving world building a meh for this one. The only thing that I really got out of it was more that Planetarium Man was important, and the thing that Cozy had mentioned with the eggs turning into Kara's, the ex-Kara specifically. But other than that, I didn't really have much to chew on for these 3 episodes that I wrote down.
Okay. Cece, why don't you take us into production?
Production. This is very Kara LOL driven. I like that this has less bullshit when it comes to the magical girl stuff. Like, it does have its template. Like, we were talking about Earth Defense Club. It was like, oh, you have the person, they have an issue, they turn into the monster, or the boys come out, they throw some random attacks at it, and then the little one does this super attack, and it's just kind of the same thing over and over again. Like, why don't you start with that? Because that's, that's what's going to finish the job. And I kind of like that this show, instead of messing around with all that, they kind of go more into, like, the backstory of the characters and why they feel this way, how their egg develops into an X-egg, etc. And then Amu, like, transforms and almost immediately just fixes it. It's not, like, floundering around, trying all these different things before doing the one thing that she knows will work. She just, like, takes care of it. And maybe that makes it less of a magical girl show, I don't know. But I appreciate that. Less parts are being filled in by the template this way. There's more outside of the template. Also, this is a common thing in anime and cartoons in general, but I love how you could tell she sprained her ankle because the bruise was over her tights.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my tights are purple. I must have an injury. That always makes me laugh.
I mean, sometimes they wear sheer tights. They don't have to be opaque.
They were white.
Okay. Opening and ending, still, like, such great bops. Love them. So glad we finally got another character transformation. I had noted on here, like, I wanted more, and then in episode 6, we got the transformation into Miki's. Like, some good fucking soup. Kind of weird that episode 6 had about the same amount of animated ballet as all 3 of episodes of Princess Tutu. So, like,
I'd
obviously
argue it was better animation.
Obviously, it's
it was made a
possible.
couple years later, so... Yeah.
No, I think Shugo Chara was before the Princess Tutu anime.
No, I don't
No
think
way.
it was. I thought Princess Tutu was like 2002 or something. Hang on.
Yeah.
No,
check
Princess
that,
Tutu
'cause-
got an anime pretty late.
Original run for Princess Tutu anime was August of 2002 to May of 2003. And Shugo Chara, I want to say came out in like 2006.
Wow, I would have reversed
Let's
those.
see. 2007 to 2008 for the first series, and then the second one was 2008 to 2009.
That was late.
Okay. Well, still, they had more ballet animation in like a half of episode 6 than all of the 3
yeah.
episodes of Princess Tutu. And then just something that I probably only noticed because this week I was listening with headphones on instead of like having it up on the TV. They have a lot of Foley going on for like subtle sound effects. Most anime, like, they give you like the standard, like, oh, this character's running, they're walking, they're doing this, some impact. Where in this one, they had a lot of like, oh, this character has subtly shifted position, and we hear like the cloth shifting against each other. Like, little stuff like that normally you can skip over in an anime, but I did notice it this week. Again, because I think I had headphones on. It's just like a really nice little touch. I appreciated it.
Yeah, show looks good. Character designs are good. I like that they have some outfit changes here and there, and the new transformation for Amu is nice. Music, I don't really remember it that well, if I'm being honest. Nothing particularly sticks out in a big way to me, but they're also not doing anything wrong. Like, they're doing good. I guess, like, a meh to a light yay for me.
Yeah, I give production like a light yay. I like the aesthetic. The outfits are still all really cute. Like, it's a nice show to look at. And overall, like, I enjoy the magical girl transformations. The battles are pretty good. I think it does everything it needs to do in the context of this show. So I would say it's like a light yay.
I have no different thoughts than what I have said in the previous weeks for this show. It's a yay.
Yes.
Yes.
But in all seriousness, it is a nice looking show for its time, and it still kind of holds up to this day. So yeah, it's a yay for production. I don't really got any real complaints.
I think the only complaint is this is more of a thing that I did. I wish I could have gotten something with a little bit of a higher, like, bit rate. Because it gets a little pixely on the version that we have. That's really the but that's just a version.
But
problem.
then you're emulating what you would probably see back in 2006 on TV back then.
Watching in
maybe
10 parts on YouTube. Before they struck it down.
Uh-huh.
All right, Cozy, why don't you take us into final thoughts?
I like that Amu's sticking to her guns. The cape is ugly, and I approve of all hate on it. I really enjoyed in these episodes. We had someone who was really struggling in that he was trying to live up to someone who was way better skill level than he is, with seemingly way less effort than he was putting in. And, you know, that's kind of like a universal experience. A lot of people can relate to that. Like, you can really love something and put a lot of effort into it, but there are going to be people who are better at it than you, and sometimes they won't have to work as hard as you. But that doesn't mean your effort is worth any less, or that you're, like, worse overall at it. And then I really loved that we followed that episode up immediately with an episode that showed one of those, like, child geniuses who excelled in an area struggling because she obviously felt like she couldn't keep up. All of her hard work was going to go to waste. So, like, they kind of showed us, like, the other side of the coin, and I feel like that was, like, good messaging to carry over between two episodes. So, like, I was really happy with this week.
I'm glad you brought up the genius thing, because I had forgotten about that, like, TV show they were watching, where I wish I would have brought this up. This might have actually, like, done something here, but, like, there was that lady who was like, oh, this is this musical person who's got a new CD coming out, and they're amazing. You're a genius, and you're fantastic. Everyone else on my crew sucks. You're all terrible at your jobs, and everything sucks compared to this guy. And even the guy who, like, started out kind of humble, like, oh, well, you know, I'm just whatever. Like, as soon as she started ranting, he was like, lady, calm down. Like, what the fuck? Like,
whoa, just take it easy, man.
It's like, even he was like, look, I know I'm kind of awesome, but, like, what are you doing? Like, what is happening? No, but yeah, I think primarily the number one thing that I can praise about this series is that it's got a really great message, and the theming is great, and all that stuff is fantastic. Like, everything you were saying about these are things that the target audience is going through. Here's hopefully messages that will help you through that, because you're going to be dealing with it not just now, but a lot in life. And it is good to learn methods of either coping or, like, understanding it and different things like that. And I think that's great. I just wish that there had been more things, like, in the actual presentation of the show itself that maybe I had just enjoyed more. Again, this show's not doing anything wrong. It's just not clicking with me necessarily. Like, I think overall, I'm like a meh to maybe a light yay, but I'm leaning more meh because like, I'll be real with you. I mentioned before we had the little gap because of, like, some scheduling problems. I had kind of forgotten the plot of these in that time period. So I had to refresh right before we got on. So yeah, it's kind of a meh.
I've really been enjoying these episodes. I remember enjoying the first week of this as well, and I continue to enjoy it. I think it's doing everything that it sets out to do really well. I like the formula, and I hope we get to see like more progress in terms of the overarching story as well with like the bad guys. And I really like Amu and her journey of self-discovery and identity. And the side characters have been pretty interesting as well. So I don't really have many complaints. I would give it a yay overall.
I don't really have a whole lot of like final thoughts other than like I'm enjoying the show. It's a good show. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying these episodes. I feel like I'm enjoying the show more and more as the weeks go on. My only other final thought is kind of like with Magical Girl Ray Earth last week. I wonder what it is about the story that makes it really long. Like it's 51 episodes. Like I wonder how. Like, I wonder if there's filler or if there's just really. Okay, never mind. Then. Okay,
Envy.
never mind.
Envy. Do you realize how many types of anxiety there are?
Don't remind me.
Especially in
Don't worry,
preteens.
the show will.
It is a lot of filler episodes, but I feel like that was a lot of Magical Girl shows, probably up until recent years. So
Yeah.
Also, the filler really added to like the side characters more than anything.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Like it gave them more of a chance to shine.
Yeah, I mean, not that I'm complaining. I was just curious what made these shows run so long. But
I mean,
you know.
it's the same thing with Sailor Moon. It's the same thing with Tokyo Mew Mew. It's the same thing with a lot of these Magical Girl shows as they padded them out because a lot of them were actually still being written while they were being produced.
yeah, it was that one of the reasons why Naruto had so much filler because that guy was writing it.
Yeah.
Or is that?
At the very
Okay.
least, with Naruto, they saved all the filler for like right at the end, so that's something, I guess. But still,
But yeah, overall, I'm a yay for final thoughts.
My final thoughts are just miscellaneous. The thoughts that I had, is he polishing his shin guards? That was a weird thing to do. They go under your socks, dude. I think it was Zach, the soccer kid, and his teammate. They had the gayest Terminator handshake I have ever seen. And then, speaking of gay, it suddenly became Fight Club. They were like, wow, was this male friendship? And he's like, punch me, bro. Like, yeah, this is Fight Club. And then in the last episode, Alma was saying to the,
To Yaya.
no, the prima ballerina, she was like, stop being a crybaby. If Yaya can, like, get up and keep dancing, so can you. There will be other performances. And I'm like, that's a pretty mean thing to say when, like, your friend, Kara, is a baby. Like, I don't think you get to use that as an insult anymore. Overall, I'm a yay. I think the show started out kind of meh for me, but it is growing on me as we go.
I think we need to go back a second because did you say a Terminator handshake? Do you mean a Predator handshake?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yes. You son of a bitch.
Yeah,
I haven't seen either of those movies.
Yeah, there was no handshake like that in Terminator.
There was no handshake like that in any other movie ever.
Yeah.
All right. Only one of these will survive, so we got to decide who it is right now.
Let's go.
Let's do this. I'm leading us off. We're going to start with Plot. Who's going to get my yay for Plot this week? So I think both shows are hitting their formula of Monster of the Week, Character of the Week, Dance of the Week. It's interesting that we got two that are literally not monsters, but they're Monster of the Week plots. But overall, I think I enjoyed Princess Tutu just a little bit more. I think I enjoy the intrigue with the villains a little bit more, or are they villains or something like that, a little bit more than I was with the intrigue of what's going on with the incels. I don't know. And yeah, so that's what I'm going with.
I'll go with Shugo Chara.
I'll give it to Tutu for this week.
Time to bring out the voice, Al. I'm a sweep for Shugo Chara. All 5
He's
categories.
going to sweep.
Go
All right, he's sweeping.
Whoa.
Yep, I'm sweeping.
Alright, I picked Tutu for the plot.
I also picked Tutu for the plot. They're both Monster of the Week. Tutu just feels a bit more cohesive with these 3 episodes because we're seeing consequences carry over between the episodes.
All right, so Princess Tutu takes Plot. Yin, why don't you tell us who gets your yay for characters?
overall, I enjoyed the main characters of both of these, but I enjoyed the side characters in Shugo Chara a lot more. So I'm gonna go with that one.
I am also gonna go and give it to Shugo Chara. Not that, like, the characters aren't getting interesting in Tutu, but let's just say consistency with them is not my favorite.
And let's see here, then via thweep.
I'm a sleep.
He's a thweepin'.
I also gave characters to Shugo Chara.
I'm also giving it to Shugo Chara. I feel like Rue is just a little too psychotic character-wise, and although we're focusing primarily on Amu, like, she's also relating to, like, the side characters, so they're also getting development.
So I'm the only one going for 2-2 on this, I think just because I like Duck better than Amu a little bit, and everyone else didn't matter to me. But doesn't matter. Shugo Chara will take the characters category. And Chibi, why don't you take us into world building? Who gets your yay?
No one, because I am abstaining.
Oh my god, we got another thing, then a thweep?
Yep.
Yeah, this one. So I give it to Shugo Chara. Say Shugo Chara as the title, but the little things, I call them
They're called
Charas.
Charas, yeah. It probably is Shugo Chara, or Chara, but
Yeah, like character.
we've always pronounced it Shugo Chara. It just sounds
We're
better.
Americans. We pronounce things the way we want to.
Yeah, and that shows our
No, I
character.
think even in Japanese, a lot of, like, the Japanese fandom calls it Shugo Chara. I'm also giving it to Shugo Chara. They were both kind of light on world building, but it felt like Tutu really didn't have anything, whereas Shugo Chara at least had, like, antagonist and some movement on, like, the X-Eggs to X-Karas.
I disagree. I think Tutu had just that little bit more of world building to me, but that's my opinion, and that's why I give it to Tutu.
I'm actually going to give it to Tutu as well. I kind of enjoyed the world building a little bit more, even though I don't feel like either of them had much world building for this particular week. I'll just give it to Tutu.
Yeah, we do like Tutu, but Shugo
doesn't
Chara
matter.
takes it because the votes. That's how voting works. And Envy, you're gonna take us on into production. But wait, is he a thweep? I think he's a thweep.
I'm a sleep.
He's a thweepin'.
I'm giving production to Tutu simply because I like their art style better.
I'm giving it to Shugo Chara. It's obviously, like, a higher quality, just overall in all regards, and I don't think that can really be argued.
I would argue not in aesthetic as much because I'm going Tutu for its beauty and music.
I'm going to give it to Princess Tutu as well.
Production-wise, I think both of these shows are fine. I don't really care either way, so I guess it's another abstain.
Oh, well, with that abstaining, Tutu takes production. Cece, you're leading us into final thoughts. Tell us, who do you want to see moving on?
I enjoyed the ballet episode of Shugo Chara a lot, along with this soccer episode, but Tutu has my heart.
I'm going Shugo Chara. Overall, I just feel like it had a lot better messaging, especially if we're going based off of, like, target audience for, like, younger girls or just girls in general. I feel like it's probably the better one to watch.
At the end of it, I kind of, with this week, I was looking at both of them and I was kind of like, which one of these would I want to continue if they were eliminated anyway? And I think the one that I would want to continue is Princess Tutu, regardless. So that's what I'm going to go with for final thoughts.
Why did you not just say you were a sweep?
Because I like the sound of my own voice. There, I said it.
He likes the drama.
So I enjoyed both of these. They're honestly both ones that maybe I would continue. So it's kind of hard to pick, like, which one. But I think overall, I would go with Shugo Chara.
So for me, I have seen, I want to say, like, most if not all of the first series of Shugo Chara. And Princess Tutu is one that I haven't seen before. And I think out of the episodes that we've seen this week, the ones that have intrigued me more are Princess Tutu's. So I'm going to go with them for final thoughts.
and Envy the Thweep, and so we're completely tied across the board. Where the fuck is Gav when we need them?
Wait, so we're tied across the board, like...
We're tied across the board. Princess Tutu took 2 categories. Shugo Chara took 2 categories, and we're completely split on Final Thoughts, which is supposed to be the tiebreaker. This is why I wanted to have 7 people.
So how do we choose?
All right.
Are we flipping a coin?
We could sit here and debate all night about this, or
Leave it to chance.
we're either going to flip a coin, or I roll a 1 through 6, and we just don't count someone's final thought. Which one sounds worse?
Aren't they the same? They both
I
leave
kind
It
of
is.
like
I'm-
the not counting someone's final thought.
I added it for the drama.
Oh,
Yes,
you
it
added
is
for the
exactly
drama,
the same
okay.
thing. But okay, so let's run down the thing. We'll go again in the order that we introduce ourselves. So I'm number 1, Yin is number 2, Chibi 3, Envy 4, CC 5, Cozy 6. All right, I will roll it. You announce it.
Oh, me? 4 is eliminated.
Who is 4?
Me.
Envy.
So his thweep didn't
No,
matter.
Envy's thoughts don't count.
His final thoughts don't count.
I will say, I don't hate Princess Tutu, so I'm not upset that it's moving on.
Okay, so
Unless, was there anyone who actually was like iffy on anything besides Chibi's abstains?
I don't think that I was, because I was a secret thweep.
Yeah,
True.
no, I'm fine with
Okay.
my final thoughts being eliminated.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, realistically, it is just a coin flip. I just think it just adds a lot more drama to say, like, you don't count today.
Your opinion means nothing to us.
It's like, your vote totally mattered. Oh, wait, the reason that we had the election is null and void. Okay, now your vote didn't matter.
God.
Be gone, fucked.
Okay, so, I'm not gonna call it unanimous decision. Just total luck of the draw. Princess Tutu moves on into the final 4, where they will face Grandbelm in a couple weeks. So,
Oh boy.
yeah. All right. So what's next week then? We're bringing on back down to the Collect 'em All 2 Electric Boogaloo category with Cardcaptor Sakura versus the I just can't wait to be Queen champion Sugar Rune. I will save my opinions, but I have strong ones. Cece, how's that scarf going?
It's going along great.
Fantastic.
That doesn't sound confident.
No, it
but
sounds
okay.
totally confident.
I haven't
Totally.
seen the scarf in weeks.
Yeah,
It
well,
hasn't
we
moved.
will.
It's
We
still
will.
the same spot.
Anywho, anything to say before we head out of here?
Nope.
Nope.
Shugo Chara's
No.
for the boys. Fuck you, Al.
Hey, maybe it is for the boys, but, you know, are those boys incels?
Oh,
Wow.
Food for thought for
Maybe
later.
Al was the incel all along.
Oh, yeah, you know it. All right, well, we'll see you guys then. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!